Hello,
Hello, how
let
you
me see.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We have connection.
Wow, I have Mr. Bally Sagoo. How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I
Where
have
you
to say,
are you in London, are you?
I'm in London. I'm at home.
Oh, okay,
Um,
cool.
but I have to say, you don't change, mate. You look exactly the same.
Oh my God, that's so good. That's so nice. Oh,
So
that's really good.
we're
That's
gonna
nice.
have to exchange some like anti-aging secrets, or there
Oh my
must be
God.
like a secret to this.
I'm not sure about that, man. But yeah, it's all good. How you doing? You all right? All good?
I'm good. Where are you in Birmingham?
Yeah, I'm in Birmingham in a lockdown, obviously, like everybody else. Just waiting to go
Yeah,
abroad. It's my 10th interview today.
I'm
So it's
sure.
all
I'm
good.
sure. I'm sure you're on a roll for sure.
Yeah, I've just literally got off on it 15 minutes ago. Couple of before that, a couple this morning, yeah. But knocking them out, it's all good though. It's good. All
Yeah,
good.
but it's what you do. It's fine, just off the shoulder. It's cool. You got it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, 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 yeah,
talking
yeah.
of lockdown, so let's start with that. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
how
Let me
has
put my
lockdown?
phone on silent, yeah, because it will start banging away in the background.
So how has lockdown been treating you?
It's the same as you, man. I mean, it's ridiculous, I mean, it's just hard, man. I mean, I need to go abroad. I need to go and see everyone. I need to get back to India. I need to go out and do my gigs. I need to promote the new stuff. And I think my best friend, obviously, nowadays is Mr. Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom is a friend in everyone's life at the moment. I think
Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
a regular friend who's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
there for you.
I mean, not even a year ago, I wouldn't give a shit about it. I mean, like, what's Zoom? But in about a year, it's been like, wow, couldn't live without it.
Yeah.
I mean, a year ago, I wouldn't even bothered. But yeah, everything has just changed. Because of lockdown, this software app has become popular. Otherwise, no one would care.
No, that's true. But I think people have realized they don't need to go into the office now as well. So you can just do
Yeah, well,
everything
I
from
don't work in an
down.
office, so yeah. I mean, for me, it's a bit different. But yeah, my lifestyle is totally different. I mean, I don't really. I live in a studio, but it's all good. It's all new. But anyway, let's do it. Is it
Yeah,
recording
so
or?
so here you
Yeah.
are, and I think we haven't heard music from you for about, I think, 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, since 2015, kind of my last
Yeah,
album, Cafe Punjab.
and in Bally Sagoo Creeps for the new track. And I have to say, when I
a,
heard when I heard
a
this,
90s vibe. Yeah.
I felt really nostalgic.
Oh wow, that was the whole idea.
So like Kinna Chauna really took me back, and the reason I say nostalgic, I'm not going to say anything to do with Bollywood. It took me back to so my playlist is a lot of like 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
the vibe I got when I heard it was Sade vibes.
Oh man, I'm the number
Yeah,
one
and
fan
that's
of
what I got.
Sade.
And
I had a major crush on that woman. I mean,
yeah,
Jesus,
and it
posters,
was
you name it.
literally based, and it was like M People Sade vibes, like that kind of era. Like,
Yeah.
and it was
Oh,
like,
you
you know,
know,
when
you know your old school stuff then, huh? You know your old school stuff.
a lot of my playlist is old school. So
Oh wow, that's nice. That's really good to know. It's always refreshing when someone knows about that kind of style of music because I was like, hey man, my record collection is one of the probably the
but the
best in the
reason
world.
but the reason I say that is because, it starts with the whole like dialogue, and then it kicks in, and then when it goes to the that whole beat drop, like no
Yeah.
one no one makes songs like that anymore, because now if
No.
you listen to like new music, it's all about, they're going to drop like a hard beat in the
Oh
beginning.
no, no, it's all trap in
There's
it.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
I
what
know
were
what you're
you
saying.
so is that the kind of thought process behind the track? And
My thought process is the same from all of my albums now. I mean, 50 plus records, 50 plus albums down the road. I mean, I have a certain way of working. I don't listen to what's happening out there. That's my
yeah,
first rule. I don't get affected by what's happening outside. I just do my own thing. I zone in, and then kind of like just see what kind of vibe I want to go on. And the new album obviously is leaning on those kind of sounds which people don't realize or don't remember because they weren't around or they just completely forgot. So for me, I'm just trying to hit everyone differently, really. I mean, there's all sorts of things for mature, serious listeners, and then the youngsters who want to jam to something a bit more harder. I've got some reggae vibes on there. I've got some nice soulful vibes on there. Some Punjabi laid back vibes, some up tempo Punjabi house. I've done all types of different things on the album, but then I've always done that on all my albums. There's always mixture of tempos. There's always different mixture of styles. And I try to gear it for different people. This one has a Bollywood touch to it, of course. hence the video has got a Bollywood feel to it. But then again, I try to do a 90s vibe video with an epic sort of a movie kind of a vibe, you know. It looks like it's a Bollywood song, which is what people are saying. I'm like, wow, it's not, but good. It looks like a Bollywood song. I'm like, well, that's pretty good then, because that's what I wanted to do. Like, it's some 90s Bollywood film song, and it's a scene. And we made it especially for the song. Obviously, we made the video. And an 8 minutes plus video. Why not? It's YouTube, man. It's my channel. I can do what I want.
Yeah, you do what you want. Exactly. It's your thing.
Yeah, I mean,
you've always stayed authentic. I think you are one person that I would say, like, if I was to think of a word to describe you, would be authentic. And the reason I say that is because, you know, you've gone and done whatever you feel like you wanted to do back in the day. Like, it was reggae, soul, disco, whatever. Yeah. And you just went with it. But the question I would want to ask to you is, like, when you were going to do that stuff and you played it to people back in the day, did they say to you, Bally, you're crazy?
Yeah, they still say that to me now. But yeah, of course, I mean, you know, everybody's not going to be on the same page as me until I bring them onto my page. That's always been like that with my music. I remember when I did Juralia, I was like, this is a bit slow, you know. And then the next thing you know, have you heard Juralia? I'm like, you know, it's like, you know, certain tracks take time for people to digest, really. And I'm always like, is it a breath of fresh air? My song is definitely a breath of fresh air. Nothing before it or after it sounds like it. And when it plays on the radio, it really hits hard. It's like the next song is not going to be like that as the one before it, and that's always a good sign. I mean, if it stands out on the radio, then what more do I want?
So what drives you to kind of stay authentic to your music? Like, what is it that keeps you going?
Wow. I think, you know, it's just a constant trying to, you know, better myself. If I'm going to make some music, you know, trying to better my sound. Traveling all the time, obviously not now, but I'm always sort of collecting ideas and seeing what people abroad like and seeing what happens, you know, and that's my main thing, really. And then, you know, and it takes me months and months. My work doesn't happen overnight. It takes me a few months to make a song. And that's why it's sort of, I hope it sort of shows when you hear it, really. You can hear you know, in the new songs as well. I'm sure that you're going to pick out on some real nice little details that I've kind of put in the, like, this song has got a lot of wind and atmosphere and very sort of sounds that are like more in a movie. And I haven't got a movie in my mind. I just make it on how I feel. You know, if I want to make a 5.5 minute song, I'll make it 5.5 minutes, man.
I love the fact that you just don't care. I'm doing this. This is what I'm going to do, and that's it. Like,
yeah, I mean, you know,
you don't like it, that's it. I don't care.
But then, you know, you're talking to somebody who's been doing it all their life. I mean, if I was a new guy, then it'd be different. But because I've been making music all my life, I kind of get the idea about what I like. So I know how I want to work. And it's like a chef in the kitchen, man. So, you know, I know there's certain things that, you know, sort of floats my boat. And, you know I like this kind of a little bit of a flavor of something in there and so on. And at the end of the day, it's still Punjabi or it's still Hindi or it's still Bollywood or whatever you want to call it, man. I mean, but the sound is definitely different. It's fresh.
Well, yes, definitely. And it's always fresh. And I think you've also achieved so many things in your career. You've worked with some amazing people. I know everyone always says, like, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, but I have to also go to Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I have to put that out there because
some people don't know.
You were like touring.
Yeah, Michael Jackson, the history tour of India. I was mainstream. I was number 12 in the UK chart, so that's why I was selected. And I was like, wow. I was signed.
Was that the top of the pops days? Top of the pops?
Yeah. Same time. That's why, because we were mainstream. We were playing on national radio, mainstreams globally on Western English radio stations, and that's why Dil Cheese was the song. And of course, the songs went to Michael Jackson, and then they selected my tracks, and then they thought, okay, let's see what this artist is. And then they said, okay, yeah, cool. You can open up for us on our show. And I'm like, wow, definitely.
How did that feel? Like,
well, of course, I was like, you know, I mean, I still remember that I was on, you know, on top of the world already, because I'm on top of the pops. You know, I'm on the national lottery. I'm on every single program, and my record is in the charts, as in the Gora charts, the Western charts. So I was like, you know, I mean, my albums are number one in the Asian network and the Asian channels around the world. all of a sudden when it's in the top 40 of the UK top 40, when it's impossible, and Spice Girls are giving me an award, I'm like,
I
wow.
know, right? Check
Yeah.
you out.
I'm like, hell yeah, yeah, this is really cool, man. And they're like, we like your music, and Jazzy B Soul to Soul was like, damn, bro, yeah, your song is fire, man. I was like, we don't know what they're singing about, what you're saying, man, but we like the vibe, man. I was like, that's good, man. That was what my message was, man. I mean,
But that's
that
the
was
thing with music, though. I think you don't have to understand the lyrics. I think if you get the whole vibe and it creates like an ambience, I think it's like the feeling and the energy music creates. And I think it just has that whole thing of taking you, like, you could be feeling sad and you probably have a sad playlist that you play, or there's like a happy playlist, or there's a pumped up playlist you play when you need
it's for your mood. It's just music for your mood. And of course, Diljee's was a very, very emotional, powerful song. Really, it was a really nice ballad, and it was just the right crossover track for the mainstream people, for their ears as well, rather than a hard song. And so the record label thought this is the perfect song for mainstream. I'm like, I'll be happy with any song for mainstream. If you
we all remember sitting on the sofa waiting for Top of the Pops to come
Top
on.
of the Pops, yeah. It was like we've
And
landed on the moon. It was like we've landed on the moon. I was like, whoa, we've landed
those
on
are the
moon.
days, I think, when me and my sister, we used to get, the VHS video cassette
recorders.
and
Yeah,
then
of course, man.
and we used to like record
Tape
acts.
it, yeah.
So it never used to be like for us like a cassette player, like a hi-fi or something. It used to be like we used to play those videos like when we were just around the house and just like.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've still got those VHS tapes, man. I mean, of course, I mean, I don't know about you. I still watch Top of the Pops on the whole rewinds and the repeats on the the TV now. And it's great when I watch those nostalgic 80s, 90s. I'm like, I hope one day they show my one on that particular show, which is like 1996, because if they ever show the 1996 episode, I'll be like, damn, watch Top of the Pops, man.
Wow.
Because some people obviously they saw it and some people didn't see it. So I mean, it's just one of those moments that I know. And then obviously I got
do you have a copy
congratulated.
of it anywhere? No.
I've got a VHS somewhere which is really like distorted, and I'm like hoping that one day it comes on again and I can record it on DVD now. You know what I'm saying? I'm really cool now. I have a DVD.
Exactly.
Because it's only VHS. And yeah, I mean, I would love to, see it again, and then let my little girl see it. She'd be like, "Daddy, there's you, man. That's you."
Because I mean, those days was completely different as well. I think because to get music, you would have to obviously go to a record shop, or it's not like now where you can download it, you can Spotify, you can Shazam it, and then you can know what the track is.
Yeah,
so
that's not fun, though, is it? That's not fun. I mean, what you're gonna do? Here's my music collection, right? I mean, really, having a music collection has to be a physical record collection, man. CD collection, tape collection. That's the fun of when you buy music, man. You read the inlays, you see the artwork, and you add to your collection, man. So for me, I mean, wherever I travel around the world, at airports, I'm always looking around the CD shop. If there's a few CDs there, I look around and I'm like, wow, this is so much fun. I'm a diehard, vinyl collector. I'm CDs and cassettes. I mean, that's how we were brought up. I would listen to some song and I'd go out and buy it, and that's the way I built up my collection. Really, I mean, today I know the kids are just downloading it as an MP3, which is how the way that the world works at the moment, really. But you can't beat the original vinyls, man. You can't beat the original the CDs and tapes, and having the real music in your hand with the artwork and everything.
Do you think that comes from like growing up with music as well? Because I'm sure your household was musical.
Yeah, my dad, my father was a musician. My mom sings. She still sings Shabad Kirtan in the house, Gurbani. So we come from a very religious house. My dad obviously was a walking encyclopedia. He had every black and white Hollywood film song, and he was a radio presenter for so many years. And we had a music store. He used to sell tapes and CDs, and most kids they still talk about my dad's music shop. Really, it was a very important part of our culture growing up here in Birmingham. And of course, that had a major impact on my life growing up, because from day one we had hi-fi systems and tape decks and cassette players, and my dad was well into all this stuff. He cut a record in the 60s, my dad in a band for Safas. So I mean, I always remember, I said to my dad, you made one record, I've made 45. And he said, shut up, not show off there. So it was really, really cool. I mean, I took after my father, man. And obviously he was my biggest inspiration.
Yeah, and it's always nice when you kind of have those that kind of motivation when you're younger. I think young artists always need that, and young creatives need that as well, to have someone that can nurture talent and to see someone else do it too.
Yeah.
What's on your playlist at the moment?
Well, I mean, for quite some time now, I'm still listening to a lot of my old reggae stuff. I'm listening to a lot of the 80s stuff. Especially while I've been making this new sort of album vibe. I'm constantly listening now to the same kind of music, really. I don't listen to a lot of new music. If you ask me what's currently big right now with me, I'm like, I wouldn't even have a clue.
I feel you on that one, though.
I'm not really, okay, cool. Okay, I'm really tuned in right now. This is the top 20 right now. And then I'm like, I have no idea. I'm the wrong person. But I definitely still keep listening to my old stuff and, big time, the reggae stuff, my Bob Marley stuff, and my Michael Jackson early days, and my disco things, the Motown stuff. I love the 80s sound from Luther Vandross and Change, SOS Band. I mean, me and my mates that are pretty much the same age, I mean, that's all we ever talk about, really. So I can really get into that conversation and say, yeah, that one, that's you. And remember this one. Remember this first few seconds of this one. And remember this one. And remember this one. And the sound. And, and the legendary producers from back in the days like Quincy Jones. That for me is more exciting. But then again, obviously the youngsters today have a different sort of thought process and who their heroes and what kind of sound they're into now. It's a lot different for them.
What would you say about the music scene, like how it's progressed over the years, like from when you first started to now?
Well, I mean, of course, like anything, it changes in time. It's the same with mainstream, really. Everything goes through phases as well, phases and styles and trends. Only certain trends stay for a while. Some don't even stay; they go and come quickly. Same with artists. Some artists go and some artists will, disappear quite fast. Really, it's a lot more difficult now. Why? Because the scene has become so fast now. Really, in consuming and listening to music now. Really, I mean, it's like every single second there's a new track out. Every single week there's a new person. There's a new video. There's a new this. And it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And to be honest with you, a lot of it you won't remember after a while.
Yeah, I mean, you're also putting an album out. Like, people don't really do that anymore. People just
that's
put out tracks.
Well, I've always put out albums, so that's why I'm going to put out an album, because I've always done that. So again, old school, but yeah, I think people are going to start doing albums now. It's going to be back to that kind of a thing. I think single taken from the new album, same as the mainstream, whether it's anybody, Drake or whoever, in the mainstream market, you'll see this is the new single from the new album, and I think that's fine. That's cool. That's pretty normal. But yeah, I mean, my album is coming out in a couple of weeks' time, and it's already finished. And I have a new single coming out as well after this, Kinna Chauna, another one actually hopefully next week. So yeah.
Wow, Bally, you're spoiling us. You're spoiling us.
Well, okay, I can always hold it back then, man.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. We need it.
Wait another 5 years. No, I mean, obviously, I've been working on this for some time now, and they're ready. This track, Kinna Chauna, was recorded beginning of last year. I mean, around February, March time, I think it was. I did this track last year, and all these songs have been a lot of hard work from some time. The lockdown has helped me to polish things up, and has helped me kind of like, right now, I'll spend time and do this now. No excuses. So I've been able to sort of zone in and say, okay, Tika, I'm going to do this now, and I'm going to get this ready now, and blah blah blah. The only major obstacles has been obviously is I couldn't come in my music video because I couldn't travel to India to shoot this Kinna Chauna. So I've got my crew, my team to film it, and I can't go out and do half the things I want to do. But you know what? Where there's a will, there's a way, man. You just got to keep soldiering on. You just got to keep going. And I thought, people are asking me to say, we don't care, man. Just get your music out. We don't care. Just get your music out. I'm like, true that, because I want you to hear my music. I don't really care about seeing my music. I want you to hear it, because that's what it's all about, man. So when you hear it, hopefully you'll think, wow, this is a nice sound. Yeah, you're jamming in the car or something. Like this track, when you play it loud in the car, it sounds amazing, because it always takes me back to that zone. Whenever I play Kinna Chauna in the song in the Gaddi, I'm always like, yeah, man, this song is banging in the car, and it's like a mellow track, but I'm like, yeah, this is definitely the sound I wanted for this song. And of course, the singer Vicky Marley, who composed the song, he played it on a WhatsApp from Jammu, and I was like, he's like, do you like this song? I'm like, I love this song. Sing it again. And he was like, okay.
Technology.
And he was on the guitar, and I was like, okay, the tempo needs changing. And also, I'm going to give it a different style, but I'm like, I'm not going to get too technical now. But I said, I like it. We need to record this. So I said, get into a studio and dub this vocal. I'll send you a beat. And then, yeah, and then I said, sing it to this beat. And then and then he sent the voice over to me, and then I just sort of chopped it all up and placed it where I want it. And then I thought, I'm going to have real good fun now, and I just spaced it out. And I'm like, I'm going to build it up slowly and do a 12-inch extended mix of the song, man. No radio
And here we
editing.
are.
No radio edit, a proper full length version. Just like how most of my songs are. I mean, most of my songs are like 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes plus.
Also, I think you just mentioned that you couldn't travel to do the music video, so you had to trust your team. So it's important to have a good team around you, and I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I had the best team, and of course, I'm so happy that they've been able to do this. I mean, Dave Shikanduri, she wrote the song, she directed the video, she wrote the story, she got the whole video done, and I'm like, wow, and yeah, I mean, the whole process has been very difficult because they were shooting in like some major minus temperatures, and she fainted during the shoot, and they had to stop the shoot for a while, and it was so cold. I mean, standing there in a lenga, man, in minus God knows 10 degrees, freezing cold. But I think it was all worth it, man. And they all were like laughing about it. Now they're like, wow, it was fun, but obviously at the time we were freezing, she was saying. But anyway, I mean, it's all good, man. I mean, I'm really happy the way it's turned out. I'm really, really glad. I mean, I got the message across.
I love the line about true love always comes back.
Yeah, I mean, that's some poetry there.
Do you believe that?
Well, the song has a message, and I think, yeah, it's been portrayed in the story. I mean, true love always comes back. I mean, to see, this is a love story. People do like love stories, regardless, and obviously it's got some kind of a message in there, really. And I think for this time, the time that we're all going through right now, I mean, everyone's feeling a little bit, like this, and it kind of like makes you feel good. And it's like, it's got a message behind it as well. And of course, it's middle of February, you know what that means. So it's like, it's perfect for Valentine's. I mean, it's, I think it's one of those things, really. I mean, everyone likes everyone likes some kind of a love song or a love story, and the video portrays that. And I was like, this is in your hands, man. You wrote this song. Who better than you to write the story and get the video sorted? So she did it, and I'm so happy with that, and I'm like, and I'm really glad with the response, because everyone said, damn, this is like a movie. I'm like, great. And also, this is like a Bollywood film. I'm like, even better. So great. That's what we wanted to do. We thought, it's my video. It's my YouTube. If I want to make an 8-minute video, I can do it. If Michael Jackson can do Thriller and do a huge, long video, I can do one.
You toured with him, so it's all good. You do you. Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Because it's like nowadays, people are like, oh, you got to have 3 minutes, man. It's got to be 3 minutes. I'm like, 3 minutes? My intro is going to be 3 minutes. I'm having a 3-minute track. So, what I mean? I mean, I understand radio has to have their thing. But nah, man, I mean, I'm like, it's this is my story. It's my track. It's my vibe. It's like what I want to do. And hopefully you'll like it. If you don't, then maybe you'll like the next one. But,
I think that's just with anything you do. There's always going to be people that like it and people that don't. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, some people don't like Michael Jackson. Some people don't like Bob Marley. Some of my friends are like, nah, I don't like Bob Marley. I'm like, are you crazy or something? Nah, man, I don't like Bob Marley. I like Drake.
I'll check their temperature.
Like, okay, I like Drake as well, but Bob Marley, man. So, everyone's different. I mean, Beatles. I mean, I'm not a huge Beatles fan. My dad was probably the biggest fan that the Beatles ever had. My dad loved the Beatles, every single song, you name it. And me growing up, I wasn't heavily into that. I was like, nah, man, Bob Marley, he's the man. And and I was like Luther Vandross. My dad was like, no Luther Vandross, it's strictly Beatles. And I was like, okay, whatever. But anyway, I mean, everyone obviously has their own, whatever they like. I mean, it's all good. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what you connect with, really. And for me, obviously, the black music thing has been my major influence from day one. My friends, everybody. I mean, I'm glad I grew up with that upbringing. And you can hear it in all my reggae songs. There's some reggae on the new album. I've got some reggae. I've done all types of different vibes, but I enjoy making tracks with that kind of a flavor, for sure. I mean, Long Gotcha, it's a nice little reggae song, and people connect to those kind of vibes, man. Whether you're you know, an Asian or you're not an Asian, if you're Jamaican or you're, you know, whatever. It's like, yeah, man, this is a cool vibe.
When do we get to, like, when will you be dropping this album? Do you have a date?
Tomorrow,
Or
if
are
I
you
can
just
have, if I had
teasing
my
it? Or are
way.
you just teasing
No,
it?
I swear, I'm like, you know, it was supposed to come out Diwali. Then the whole lockdown thing just got more messed up. And then I was like, well, okay. And then everyone, yeah, forget 2020. Don't do anything in 2020. And I'm so glad that I didn't release it in 2020 because I didn't want that date registered for my album, man. I don't want 2020. I just want to forget.
Put it away, forget
I
about it.
just, I just want to think about 2020. In fact, I don't even remember it. So I was like, yeah, come the new year. And hence I did that New Year's little video bite. I'm like, new album, new song, get ready. Because I'm like, everyone's looking forward to the new year. Here, I've got some good news for you. Yeah, this should cheer you up. So yeah, I mean, in the next couple of weeks, it'll all be here. I mean, the new single, you know, this is the next single from the album, which is going to be dropping. That's a Bhangra song for all the guys that are screaming Bhangra at me. Because I'm getting people like, Bhangra, no Bhangra. Bollywood, no Bollywood. Reggae, no reggae. What the hell do you want then? I want this, I want that. I'm like, Jesus, you want everybody wants all types of different things. I'm like, can I just give you what I want to give you from my album? Because it is my album. So yeah, okay, fine. You just do what you have to do, and I'm like, okay, cool. So hence, yeah, Bhangra song next week.
So there's a bit for everyone. There's something for everyone, basically.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean 200%. So you know, yeah, and then the album, yeah, a couple of weeks time, and it's there. It's yours. I mean, can't wait. Obviously, I'm more excited than you know you guys. I'm like, no, please have a listen to my new album, you know, and I hope you like it, or there's something on there that you do like, and let me know what tracks connect, you know, with you, and you know what you feel.
I heard somewhere that you were also probably thinking of doing CDs.
Well, you know me, I'm old school, so let's just leave it at that. So,
okay,
I mean, you know, all
good.
of my friends, right? My friends, you know what they say to me when they comment? They're like, "Buddy, tape, okay, tape." I'm like, tape? You actually want me to do a tape? They're like, yeah. I'm like, do you actually have a cassette player? Because I still got my cassette decks, of course. But I mean, like, can you imagine that? That'd be really cool. Tape, yeah, that'd be nice. Just for the novelty side of things, of course. You know, I mean, some people don't have a tape recorder in the house nowadays because they're like, we don't have a cassette. Why would we have one? So maybe, but yeah.
I mean,
anyway, obviously,
probably may still have a CD player. I mean,
yeah, maybe. But then again, there's some people that like, nah, man, that's like vintage. CD, that's vintage. I'm like, CD's vintage. If you think CD's vintage, you want to see some of the records that I have, man. They're like proper vintage. You know, my dad's record collection, you know, like pattar de records, like they say. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm just obviously I'm very old school. You know, I'm a vinyl junkie, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I still prefer, you know, anytime you come to my place and I put a record on, right, it's a whole different world. You're hearing what the person made. The musician wanted you to hear his music like that, not some rinsed out second, third, fourth generation copy that's been downloaded and doesn't sound clean and crisp, but it's distorting. And you got such a great sound system in your house and you're playing such an awful third, fourth, fifth generation copy of a song. I mean, you know, that's why I think, you know, when you got some really cool vinyls and yeah, even some CDs, you know, it's just nicer when you're hearing something just sounding a lot more better than something that's not original, say, for instance, if it's been, you know, downloaded illegally, say. And same as, you know, a lot of people that I know now, they have all their phone collection, all their songs on their phone or as they travel. And I'm like, what are you going to do in another 20 years' time? You're going to open your phone collection up and say, here's my music collection.
I mean, who knows what's going to happen in 20 years, honestly, who knows?
Well, you never know. Records are coming back. Vinyls are coming back. It's really become a big thing right now. More and more record players are being sold, which is really good. You know, I've still got my Technics 12.
Or if you talk to kids and you ask them what's a Walkman,
yeah, exactly.
They just look at you like, huh?
I remember when I used to stand on Soho Road with my Walkman on, and I'd be like, "Here, have a listen to this," and then so listen to the mixtape, and they say, "How much is this?" And I say, $250. And then I should just get my bag out. And, yeah, $250. I used to sell my mixtapes for, and I used to have my Walkman on and my headphones on, and then I should say, "Here, you can have a listen now." And then they'll hear it, and they're like, "Yeah, man, this sounds bad, man. The bass is bad." I'm like, "Yeah, $250." And that's how I used to sell my cassettes outside the college.
Wow.
On my Sony PlayStation, on my Sony Walkman, sorry, my Sony Walkman. I bought so many Walkmans because they all got, mashed up or got stolen or dropped them or blah blah blah. And the headphones always used to get smashed up. So I'll always used to buy and double A batteries. My God, can never get enough double A batteries, man.
Yeah,
Duracell or no
exactly.
Duracell, man. I was like, I'll just rinse them out, man. Because the rewind button that used to drag the double A battery just drained it, man. Can I hear the last track? I'm like, Jesus, I got to rewind this now. 1 second, I got to fast forward to the fourth track. I'm like, oh, gonna burn my battery, man.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, but good times though. You can't.
Oh
Those are
yeah.
definitely good times. I think Walkman
Well,
days, CD days,
if
VHS
you
days.
if you wasn't around in those days, you missed out on some serious times, man. There's no doubt about that. That's why when people sort of talk about and they reminisce about those days, there's a reason why they always say there was a whole different vibe in those days, man. Music, the whole energy, the love for the whole scene. Even the bands, I've always liked the Bhangra bands from the 80s, and going to clubs and seeing them on stage
Or the
because the live
live bands
scene,
at weddings. The
yeah, the
live
live
bands
scene
at
is just
weddings.
non-existent now. I mean, nowadays
Wow.
regardless of lockdown or no lockdown, it's just kind of non-existent, really. I mean, we need more live musicians. We need more live singers. We need more singers that can sing on stage rather than being tuned in the studio, who can go and perform on stage, really, because everyone relies on so much software now to make them sound decent, but then when they go on stage, it's a different story.
I bet I'd sound amazing on autotune. I tell you, I just know that I would. For sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, apparently it works on anyone's voice, but you never know.
So you mentioned your friends, and they're asking you for tapes. But if I was to, for people that don't know you from a different side, let's not say the music side, and I was to say to one of your friends, describe Bally in 3 words, how would they describe you?
Well, I can't say that.
No, but how would you think that they would describe you?
I'll probably say funny dude, music machine, constantly music, and just loves partying. I suppose, I don't know, that kind of vibe, really.
Oh, so Bally's party animal.
Well, not as much as I used to, but I still, yeah. I mean, I love going out. Obviously, I mean, at the end of the day, I get paid to party. What more do I want, man? I mean, that's been my life. I travel around the world and I party. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's always like, I just believe in having fun, man. I enjoy, every day, and I make the most of what I have. And I just, I'm quite religious. I do like going to the gurdwaras. I mean, I come from a very religious background. My mom is very religious. So, we are sort of very grounded people. We still get our dal sabji from the pound place or something way cheaper than going to the
Oh,
gurdwara
you
shop.
can't beat that. You
Getting
can't
the
beat that.
dal sabji, which is cheaper on normal shops. The hari mircha, this much hari mircha. I mean, like, so yeah. I mean, we do certain things. We still do in a certain way that we've done all of our life, man. Yeah.
So, as you said that they would say you're funny, tell me a joke.
No, I don't know jokes like that, man. I just know a lot of jokes when I'm drunk. When I'm drunk, then I get some funny. I mean, yeah, then I can get a bit funny. But yeah, I think that's the most important thing. You got to be funny, man. You just take life as just don't. I don't know. Don't be too serious. Just like enjoy yourself, man. But I think it's more important that people connect with me through my music in different ways. They always have a story or they have a moment. They're like, oh, I met my wife when I was listening to your this song, or my first child was born at that point, and I was like, oh wow, cool. Or I used to go to the same college as you did, and I'm like, really? I don't remember. And then, that they have like, oh yeah, I used to go to my cousin used to go to your school, or my friends used to come to your dad's shop and buy records, and I was like, wow, that's really cool, man. And it's obviously it's always great when you meet people like tell you some stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
So, what advice would you give to creatives now? I'm not just going to say artists. I'm going to say people that are creative musically. Like, what advice is someone that's been in the industry, a long time, a good while, I'd say. What advice would you give to them?
Well, I mean, same as anybody else, really. Obviously, you got to work hard. You got to believe in your dreams. You got to try experimenting. You got to really, really spend a lot of time in your art, man, and master what you're trying to do. Really, you don't have to worry about going to fancy studios no more nowadays. You can do a lot of stuff from home now. There's some good technology. There's some good software. everyone has a laptop and everyone has software now. So I think you can do a lot of great songs. You can make a lot of good music from your house nowadays, really. You just got to collaborate. You've got to work with people. You know, YouTube obviously helps on a lot of things to pick up on. And we obviously come through the really hard way in a different way. But I think now it's a lot more easier. But it's never easy to make good music, you know, and especially music that stands the time. And that's the test, really. To make music that still gets played 30 years later is something. But I mean, I think a lot of people make music for quick fame. They want to do it quickly, or they just like, you know, want to be part of the ride. I think you know, the ones who are truly believing in the game and they really want to go through with it and they want to become something in this kind of field, they will make it, man, because of a lot of hard work and determination. You've got to be very, very prepared to give up a lot of time, and it doesn't happen overnight. You know, it takes me months to make songs. Sometimes, you know, it doesn't happen, and I'm like day in, day in, day out, working on some small little pieces of something that I'm thinking I can probably change or make it better, or is it sounding right, or is it not? And at the end of the day, you know, you hope that the people enjoy it. That's the key. That's the thing. I mean, you want people to enjoy your work, your music, and that's the thing. After making so many songs now, obviously, I kind of like just go with the flow, really. I mean, I never know if it's going to work or click. The most important person that should like your music is you. And
Yeah, definitely.
That's basically it, really. Rest is a bonus, man. Everyone else liking your work, man. But you know, you really got to be like, this is really something special, or I really do like this. I hope everyone else likes it.
Wow. Okay. And what would you say in terms of like this? You obviously Ishq Records was your music label, and now you have Dope Fresh.
Fresh Dope.
Oh, Fresh Dope. Sorry.
No.
Flip it, Amy. And do you think people, that's the way that new artists or creatives need to think in terms of like do you feel like that's what you had to do to get your music out there and stay true and authentic to what you do? Do they need to do the same, or should they just do what feels good to them?
Well, I mean, I've come from a totally different world and a different background. I worked and I was signed with the major record labels. I've had my breaks and I got my sort of foot in the door. So you have to climb the ladder somehow or another. You have to grow with the game, and you got to see what works. And nowadays, yes, being independent is a really, really good thing. If you can be independent and release your music yourself, there's nothing better than that in the world. But sometimes you need to grow, and then you need to be with people or with others to grow. So yeah, there's mainstream independent record labels as well, but then there's people that run their own outfit. You know, they run their own label, they run their own setup. Really, you don't have to be a record label to release your own music. You can just release it independently, but it's entirely in the way you want to do it and the way you want to work, and so on. Really, I think everybody has to start somewhere. So the most important thing is not to worry too many steps ahead. Get your music together and get your thing going, and then seeing how you can take it to the next level from there. Really, you know, you need to work on concentrating on your sound. What is your sound? You know, what kind of music really, what do you shine on? You know, what really works for you? You know, I can't make something that I don't enjoy. Everybody knows I'm not a rock guy, you know, so I can't get into rock music, you know. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and make a rock track. I don't think I'll be the right person because I just don't listen to it enough. And it's like somebody else, if they don't like, I don't know, reggae or something, then they're not going to get into it. They're going to say, I don't know, I'm not into reggae. You know, they can't make it. So for me, that's it. The key thing is to identify your sound.
I'm just waiting for like a Bally Sagoo kind of Afrobeat, kind of Bollywood, something or other, you know, just coming out there. That's just like, that's a vision I have, and hopefully maybe one day it will come true.
Okay, I'll put it on my to-do list, as I say, my to-do list. My friends are like, put it on the to-do list. I'm like, okay, it's done. It's on the to-do list here. Next.
So also it's important for you to, you know, like music is like your life. That's what you do. But how do you, let's say, what are your hobbies? Like, what do you do to relax apart from music?
Oh, I love cooking. I love,
wow.
You know, yeah, I'm a bit of a chef in the kitchen. Well, I mean, I would say that, but no, I mean, I really enjoy cooking. I love entertaining. I love having my people around and making food for them. You know, I mean, I learned from my dad. My dad was a great chef, mainly meat dishes like chicken and lamb and stuff like that, keema, and I do all types of dishes. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I really enjoy it. It brings me, some good comfort, and yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff, that's why what I like doing, and
Sure,
I
you've
love
had
making.
more time to cook as well during this time.
Yeah, I mean, now obviously we have a lockdown. I can't get half of my friends together, but I mean, when I go to people's houses, I'm like, yeah, yeah. Do you want me to make something? I'm like, yeah, come and show me where everything is. Then I knock
Yeah.
something off. My friends are like, can you make something? I'm like, yeah, of course. Cool.
Well,
Uh,
you can do like a cooking, you could cook a meal, let's cook tonight's meal with Bally Sagoo
yeah,
on
do a
food.
cook off. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, I've always, kind of like, I don't mind cooking food and doing all that kind of stuff. I quite enjoy it really. I mean, I love my wines and stuff like that. I love entertaining my friends. I have thousands of candles around. So I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always entertaining in my place. And obviously because of the lockdown now, I can't do half of the things I always enjoy doing really. And then I love playing the music for everyone. They're like, Bally man, play some tunes. I'm like, right, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to play this, and I guarantee you're going to love everything. And normally they're like, whoa, man, what is that? What is that? What is that? Because my playlist is so mixed up.
Yeah.
I'll be, I can go very extreme Punjabi, and then I can go like very, sort of old school, and then I can go Kawali, Sufi vibe, and then I can go very, very uh, hard, dance, very, very good hard house, and yeah, even some hip hop. So everything really, it's just like I think music is about different moods, man. So it depends on what you're in the mood of. So
So your daughter must be having like really good um lessons in music in terms of which artists to listen to and what songs are the best. Oh, you need to be listening to this. I'm sure she
yeah,
has
my baby, she's like,
music.
she's into her R&B really. She's very into R&B, but she likes some of my tracks because, yeah, it's daddy, of course. No, I mean, she likes some of my mellow tracks and she likes some, different types of sounds. But I think she has a whole different audience and that sort of level of her friends and everyone. They're into what's probably more in their age group. I mean, she's 15.
Yeah.
So those teenagers are what they kind of stuff that they listen to. They do listen to a lot of the R&B stuff, which is what they like really. But I mean, I don't mind it as well, so it's okay. I don't, it's not as though I have totally opposite taste. I like my R&B as well. I do like similar songs that she likes really. But only with me is every now and then I'll slide in a Bhangra track or something, and she's like, "What's this one, Daddy?" I'm like, "This is a cool tune, This is a cool tune," and she's like, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, whatever.
Is she like into music, or is that a path she wants to follow? Or
Well, she's good on the piano. She's learning the piano, so she's
wow,
got a lovely piano.
yeah.
And yeah, she's I think hopefully I mean let's see, but she's definitely got a bit of a musical touch. Definitely, I think so. She's very arty. She's got a very artistic touch. But she's my baby. I love her to pieces. So yeah, yeah, she's everything to me. But yeah, she's not so heavy into the Indian sound, of course. She's just not, she's not, oh, I'm a biggest Bhangra fan or I'm the biggest Bollywood fan. I mean, her and her friends,
I mean, we have to think back to like, were we really though? Like we were, if I look back at my playlist, and I'm 41 now, so back in the day, like literally I was listening to Tupac, Biggie,
yeah, same.
112,
Mm.
and like there was M People, there was UB40, it was a whole mix. Like Bhangra wasn't
UB40,
top of
my
my
God,
list.
yeah. Bought their first album the day it came out. Again, that was a sound I grew up with. But yeah, similar. I mean, obviously that was. See, you also you kind of reminisce and you start kind of like thinking, wow, I was at this age when I was doing this, and people do that with a lot of my songs as well. So it's nice when they say, oh my God, when this happened in the 90s and blah blah blah. I'm like, my story goes back to the 70s. Saturday Night Fever, 1977. I went out and bought the record, and it changed my life. And I was 13 years old. Um,
Wow.
and that was one of my early day record collection. You know, I bought records before that. But yeah, I mean, that was a double vinyl. It was like, you know, I went to New Street here in Birmingham, and I was like, this is a double vinyl, man, and this is the best thing ever in the world. And I was like, Saturday Night Fever, what a time, what a move, a moment, and what a soundtrack.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I think live events really need to come back. Hopefully we can.
Yeah, I think everybody says that, but hopefully, yeah, because a lot of people nowadays, they don't want to learn the craft. You know, sorry, my phone's ringing.
That's
A
okay.
lot of people don't learn the craft so much. They want it the easy way. I think, you know, that's why musicians, when you do get some musicians, it's good to jam with them. I love live musicians. I mean, if I'm in the street and I see somebody outside the shopping center playing a guitar, I'm like, dude, I need to have your number. You got to come to my studio. Can you play on my track? It's an Indian track. They're like, yeah, man, yeah. let's have a jam session. And I mean, I love meeting live musicians. There's nothing better than when you see real musicians in the street, because that's where the talent comes from, man. You know, streets.
And so where's the first, I'm guessing the first place you're going to fly out to is India after this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I need to get out to India. I mean, this is the longest I've ever been away from India since I was born. I mean, I've not spent this much time away from India. But yeah, I need to get back out there. There's a lot of things I need to get on with and do and stuff. It's not just gigs and shows and stuff, but it's just that regards to working and meeting and getting back into recordings and getting back into doing all the other things I need to do. It's not just there, but other places as well, really. And I'm just dying to go to a normal bar and sit down and just chill out and say, hey, man, just get me some bottle of champagne, man. I want to relax, man. I want to enjoy myself. I deserve it. I've been locked up for a year, man. Yeah. You know, I want to sit down with other people. I don't want no social distance. You can come near me and I will come near you.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want the social distance. We want to be just normal, like how it used to be. You know, I want to chill out with my mates. I want to hug my mates and say, Kinna, how are you doing? You know, forget this. No, you can't come near me.
Yeah, India's just got a whole different vibe. It's like you just can't get that anywhere else. I mean, when my friends,
I've always loved going out there. It's brilliant. It's great. You know, there's everything there. You can get everything there. Everything you need, everything you see. You know, it's all there, from the extreme to the really way out. You know, it's all there, man. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, and they have a lot more different taste as well. You know, they can have their retro. They can have this and that. Here we are more fussy. You know, people here don't really open up to all these different styles. They're always into the one thing. I think there you can have everything. You can have your disco, you can have your retro, you can have your black and white film songs, you can have your this and that. You know, here people are pretty much into the trend, and that's a bit different here. You know, of course it's a lot more smaller country, but I think you know, you can't regularly go around here and have retro and have this and that when it's like with normal life. Whereas I think when you go abroad, you do get that a lot more. You know, you can have your 70s, 80s, 90s vibes and stuff. It's regularly, like, you know, here, you know, you got to find that particular event.
Yeah. The fact that we mentioned India, and I feel like I need to kind of mention the protests at the moment that are going on with the farmers. How do you feel about that? What are your views?
I'm only going to talk about the music. That's all I want to talk about. Let's just stick to the music. That's my main thing.
Fair enough. Okay, well, that's all I have time to talk to you about today, and it's been amazing.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's been fun. I think you got plenty of ammunition there.
I know. I fired a lot of questions at you that you weren't really expecting. It's all good. It's all good.
That's fine. I mean, I've done it in one life. It's fine. Main thing is that you know, you got your stuff, and you can always cut it up now and do the surgery.
Surgery, yeah, that. Do you have a message for your fans? Do you have a message for the people out there?
Yeah, as usual, check out my song. It's out right now, Kinna Chauna. New song out next week as well, Bhangra song, and then the album soon after that. But in the meantime, Fresh Dope Records is my label, YouTube channel, Fresh Dope. Go and check out the video.
Thank you very much. Take care of yourself. And thank you for your time.
Thanks, Amy. You take care. And hopefully you like the new album. I hope you like the new album.
Me too. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I love it.
Great stuff.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.